What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Z Podcast. When I say P, I mean profit. When I say S, I mean C. You dig what I'm saying, baby? Now let's keep it moving. Follow the feng shui. You dig it? Bienvenue in Podcast Z, man. And today I want to talk about joy, happiness. How many ways do you know how to make yourself happy? Give me 5 things or 2 things right now that you know you can do to make yourself happy. We do not practice happiness, or we don't practice doing the things we love enough. We tend to neglect the things that brings us joy because we got to focus on paying bills, or because we got to focus on going to work, or we got to focus on how we're going to get something to eat. So many things to focus on, right? And we do not pay attention to how we neglect ourselves from happiness. We neglect ourselves from internal happiness and external happiness because we're so caught up with trying to live life that we literally put off the things that brings us true happiness. We put off the things that brings us true joy. You know, if we always was in grind mode and never took the time to sit back and relax, you would never really enjoy life when you finally do get the chance because you're so tired. You're so tired. It's like, how would you be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor and you can't even get up because you're exhausted? We do these things to try to accomplish certain goals and have things in mind that we want to work towards, right? And it's nothing wrong with having goals and working towards something for the future. So you're sacrificing right now for the long term. It's nothing wrong with that. But what is wrong is you constantly putting yourself off from things you know that you need to feel good. And from experience, I used to think that life was all about making money, and life ain't always all about making money or doing one thing. Sure, you can, whatever you choose to do is what you value. But if you're neglecting yourself from happiness because you feel like you're not where you want to be or where you're at right now, that is a you problem. And you don't know how to find something right now without doing something. If you have to do something to feel like you're happy, then you don't really have any happiness at all within, because you feel like you need to go get something. You feel like you need to do something. Sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what makes me feel good about myself as a person? And if you can't validate yourself in an emotional way without feeling like you have to be logical all the time, or feeling like you have to have something physical all the time, then you're not reassuring yourself. And when you're not reassuring yourself, you're going to be so far into the goal that you're going to forget why you was even doing it, or you might lose yourself in the process. And all of that is because you focused on one thing so much to the point where you started neglecting other things in your life. And that is not a healthy way to deal with life, because if you're only prioritizing one thing and not looking at any other thing in your life, you're not going to be happy with the result when you finally get it, because you literally had to throw away everything else just to get to that one thing. It's nothing wrong with that. But what are you in it for? What is your purpose? What is your reason? It should be at the end of the day to bring you joy. It should be at the end of the day to bring you happiness, because whatever you're doing, if you're not happy with what you're doing, whether you're working at a job and you're not happy with it, you need to find a way to find how to prioritize your happiness. So if you're not happy at the job, but you need the job and you need the money, okay, keep the job and figure out how to, prioritize happiness outside of work. And if you can't get no time off of work, then you need to try to change the schedule, or see if you can get a more flexible schedule. And then if you can't get no solution out of that, then you quit your job. But the goal is to try to find a win-win situation in all cases, in all scenarios. Do not try to put yourself in a lose-lose scenario because you want to try to get something and you got to feel like you got to lose in the process of getting it because you got to give up so much. You don't have to do that. you can balance out and figure out what's a healthy option for you to do other than burn out and neglecting yourself from what you know you deserve. So with that being said, welcome to the Z Podcast. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and y'all have a good night.